What is up, everyone? Basically, going to be designing one of my clients' websites. It's a wedding venue site built by Belmore. I've already got a lot of nuts and bolts and pieces ready, just kind of finishing out the last couple pages. Hoping to really get it in this session. And we're trying to talk through what I do as I go on. So let's see how this works. Let's test to make sure the actual audio is going through. It doesn't seem like it's working.
All right, having some technical difficulties. All right, let's figure out what's going on. I'm having some technical difficulties over here, so just please hold. Let's see. I'm having some technical difficulties over here. All right, so the audio is now working, so that's it's a plus. Let's see. Technical difficulties over here. So the audio is now working, so that's it's a plus. Let's see. Yikes. All right, we're just going to go. I know this is off a little bit on the actual stream, so up to the left. Oh. All right, let's try to start this now. Turn this down just a little bit. All right, so I need an about page. So pretty much use Elementor for probably all of my builds now. It just makes it a lot easier to really design out the site as I'm going through. I've just been able to do it like super fast now. And I wish Spotify would be playing through here, but it is what it is. That's close enough. All right. So for a lot of my builds, I use designers to basically make them in Figma, all nice and beautiful, get that whole user experience down, and then I put it to magic. It's actually sped up my workflow and just overall just back and forth with the clients, only for the fact that they can now kind of just see the overall concept and agree on that design before I actually go in and start implementing the site itself, which has helped out a ton. I also want to go and grab an element. So a cool thing with Elementor is you can actually set up like copy and paste from one page over to another. So a lot of this site has kind of like the same headers for each, or hero sections for each of the subpages. So it's nice to just go in here and just copy paste it right over. So I just copy this, paste that in. All right, now since y'all have seen Figma, I'm just gonna move it over here so I can kind of see it back and forth as I go. Just makes me a little bit quicker. Oh, what did I do with this background? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I messed up this background somewhere. I'll figure that out later. Or now. But if you have any questions while I'm building out this site, just let me know in the chat. I'm happy to answer any and all questions related to WordPress, web design, social, something else. If I don't know it, I'm gonna let you know. That way I don't waste your time or give you a wrong answer. All right, gotta get my image going. So with one of the more recent versions of Elementor, they have like these theme styles now. So essentially you don't really need a theme at all when designing a site. I pretty much use the Hello WordPress theme, and it's a pretty bare bones skeleton theme, keeping it nice and lightweight. And I just use Elementor to visually style everything. So putting in a photo, I've already have it to where it rounds the corners all nice and pretty. You can do a lot of other stuff too. But it just helps save some time if you have an overall theme. Same thing with the colors. So if I go to style, I have all these preset colors set up and put together. All right, and then just some lorem ipsum text. Still need a lot of actual content. And something I see a lot of newer designers kind of mess up with is just letting content breathe. I think it's super important. It just makes a site look way more professionally done. You don't have to go super crazy and do 150 even like I'm doing here. It could really be anything. It's just the whole point is just to make sure that it's easy on the eyes, easy to see and kind of digest and feel there. I'll make this. Like this content, it's a little bit smaller. Oh wait. One thing I do with my designs too is I have a style guide that I set up that I can just copy and paste different elements from. And with that quick shortcut thing that I did, with that quick shortcut thing that I did inside of Elementor, you just hit, if you're on a Mac, Command E, or if you're on a Windows, Control E, and it'll open up this little Finder window, and you can quickly jump to either pages or editors and pages. So you don't have to go back to the WordPress dashboard and then back again. That's nice and quick and easy here. So I needed some of these social icons. So again, I could just kind of copy and paste, making my life much, much easier. I want to vertically align this middle, just so no matter how big or small this goes, it always stays in the middle. Kind of like 80. So I'll leave that there. So the next section. A couple of icon boxes. So you can choose like stacked frame, just depending on how you want the actual icon to be. We're gonna go stacked. I've already uploaded a couple that I want. Actually, I need the white version. Oh, I actually don't have that one exported yet. Gonna need this one as well. Oh, SVG. And efficient. So say I have these boxes here, and if I really want to adjust all three, kind of a quick hack is really only to adjust one. So if I want to have this say like that, or if I adjust any other settings, doesn't really matter. I can go ahead and click copy, and I can paste the style, and it'll match exactly what I did over there. All right, moving on. Got a My Life and Experience section. I went over here because I'm trying to figure out where I set that darn background. Might have been in the site settings. It's not there either. I'll have to figure out where that went. because that is going to bother me. All right, again, got to let this breathe here a bit. And even when you adjust this, you want to make sure the left and right have at least a little bit of padding, because if you leave it at 0, it's going to follow through on tablet and on mobile especially, so there won't be any gutter width or a gutter on the right-hand side. It'll kind of make it all messed up a bit. All right, so we got my life and experience on a heading 2. Just double checking one quick thing over here. Gonna mute myself. Testing, testing. All right, let's move on. All right, there's too much space here. So I'm just going to put these at 100% and I'll just adjust the gutter width. Oof, wrong thing. So I kind of messed up a little bit on the beginning of this. There was a section that was wider than the rest. I basically set it up to where that was the standard dimension of the actual the site width, and then I've been making all of this basically everything else 1150. When in reality, I should just mess with that one and left the entire site 1150. But I've gone too deep. I just need to own that, and I'll figure the rest out kind of later. But I have found a dope playlist. It is Stream Beats Lo-Fi. Basically, it's copyright free, so eventually I'll figure out how to put this on the stream itself. That way you guys can jam out too. I might do that while I'm doing this, to be honest. So I can figure this out for y'all. Alrighty, ready? I'll figure that out for another day. What up to everyone watching? Again, I'm Neely. I'm just building out a website for a client and just kind of sharing through my process and giving you all a kind of inside scoop. As I go through this, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Or if you just have questions on something else, web design or WordPress or online presence really related, let me know. And if you get any value from this channel, I'd appreciate the follow. Trying to help out as many people as I can while I just do my normal stuff. We'll kind of see where this whole Twitch streaming goes with educational content. I do game quite a lot actually, but I'm going to be trying to make this more so educational, and even when I'm streaming games, answer your guys' questions as I kind of go on. But yeah, we'll kind of see where this goes. This has been fun so far. And if anything, it's just kind of an outlet so I don't just get bored by myself messing around with these websites. But yeah. So even after I do all of this, I still got to set up the animations for each one of these, which I wish there was like an overall just like animate X elements to do whatever motion. So I have a lot of these going, what's it called? Fading up, as you'll see here soon. There we go, that works. I do want this to be rounded. Dope, that is rounded, but I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, that's because there's a gap. There we go, I'll make my own gap. Yeah, that's about right. All right, so this one will fade in up. I generally like the whole fade in up effect. I'm gonna have to make this no gap and just do it myself. All right, so that works good. All right, now let's make this animate a bit. Let's fade in left. Sometimes the animation is a bit different depending on if you do the actual element itself or the column. I generally like to do the element itself if I can help it. I'll make these just fading up. I think that'll be kind of a good flow, but we'll test it and see what happens. I'm just going to make these columns fading up. Just make this whole section fade in right. Let's see what we got so far. Because I'm streaming, it's not the best loading rat meow, but it will do. All right, what's next? All right, we need behind the scenes and then pull in some blog posts. So I already like the spacing there. I'm gonna make my life easy and just copy and paste this guy in here. Again, make this 1150 because I failed. And I've been using essential add-ons for Elementor for just a little bit now. I ended up buying their premium license to kind of try out and test out some more premium features. So far, I'm a fan. They've got a lot of cool add-ons, and I can kind of enable or disable the ones that I don't use, just so I don't add a bunch of bloat on the actual site itself. Let me make sure. I need to make sure that I can do. So this one's going to be a bit tricky. Let me try the standard posts. I think this one doesn't do masonry. No, I don't think so. All right, we'll just do that one. Post per page 4. I need 2 columns. Yeah, that works. Let me get rid of that. All right, I don't really know what that's changing here, but I'm going to adjust all of this anyway, so I think it's fine. I already got the borders, the border radius rather set up. The titles are a little big. I've been using REM lately. The big advantage of that is it adjusts based off of browser size. Browser size, it sounds like an exercise. Dumb jokes aside. But basically, that way you don't have to go back in for tablet or mobile and adjust a, I don't know, 50 pixel font that just looks horrendous. Sometimes you still need to adjust a little bit, but it's not terribly bad. That works. I do need to get rid of this background. I do need to get rid of the border too. Except I don't know where the border is. Is that it? Or it says none? That was it. All right. There we go. All right, just need to give some space to the bottom of this, and I think we're good with this page. Just gotta check that mobile responsiveness. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted. Cool. All right, let's check tablet. Super important to test this. I don't use Elementor's previews as a source of truth. You still want to go ahead and make sure you edit or just check on your phone and check on a tablet if you have one. Ask a couple friends, especially before going live or showing this off to a client. So the last thing you want to do is have a bunch of errors in here. Presenting it to a client, it just won't look professional at all. Oh, you know what? I forgot one thing right there. I'll have a quote here eventually. For now, we'll do John Doe. Why not? I don't like how much space this sometimes gives. I mean, 20 is a default, which works just fine in a lot of different areas. Sometimes if you just want to quickly adjust it without actually adjusting padding or margin and things like that, you can just go over to the column section, just adjust the space there. I think tablet looks good. Let's try a mobile. Let's see, there's way too much spacing here. So we get rid of that. On mobile, I want this 100%. Just looks better. Probably want a little bit more spacing up top here. I need some space. Oops. Definitely need some spacing here. I'll do padding. Not 500. So padding is basically the space outside of the element. Margin is the space outside of the element. Padding is the space within the element. So adjusting the padding will adjust the padding, like the space up here. Adjusting the margin will adjust the space up here. Adjusting the padding will adjust the space between the top and the first element here. Now with these boxes, since everything is pretty much left aligned, I want to make sure that these are left aligned as well. And what's cool about Elementor is a lot of these different items, if they have a little icon here, it'll be either a desktop or a tablet or mobile, you can actually adjust just for that experience. So whatever you do here isn't going to impact what you do on tablet or desktop. I think there's a little bit too much padding here. If we look at kind of the flow, and a lot of adjustments that need to be made. Let's try 80. Cool, I dig it. We want to get rid of the padding that we did there. Maybe add some padding. Again, that same thing, get rid of the margin that we added. Add some space. Don't know which one I adjusted there, but I'm gonna be lazy. Just do that. Spacing looks fine there. Got the behind the scenes, and I think that is good. You can really see how it is. There's a little too much space there. I've seen a lot of people start to use the fours kind of mentality when it comes to spacing. So make sure whatever you basically have set up, it's divisible by 4. Just easy to kind of duplicate and multiply as it kind of goes on versus using some arbitrary numbers like, I don't know, 73, for example. If you ever need to kind of scale it, it's easier to scale up or down. All right, I think that's done. Let's see if my browser wants to cooperate while I'm streaming. Doesn't really want to cooperate, but I get the gist. Cool. All right, and the about page is done. All right, so what we got next? All right, looks like we have the get in touch or contact page. All right, what did I say? Get in touch? Yeah. But again, Neely here designing out a website for one of my clients. It's a wedding venue built by Belmore, building it out in WordPress, Elementor. If you have any questions on whatever I'm doing or just questions in general with WordPress, I'd love to know. Just use that chat function there, as you're well aware, to kind of communicate, and let's get this conversation started. I just finished my about page, and now I'm working on the get in touch. So first got to publish it and then jump into actually editing it. let's see. All right, it's going live for 41 minutes and 12 seconds. Again, another reason why I love using Elementor for a lot of my website builds is just the easy copy and paste function. So if I create an element, I can easily just paste it over if I can find the site. Or I can also save them as global elements. So say I have, I don't know, a testimonial slider. I can actually right click, save as global. And that way it's just now one widget that I create and kind of set up. And it's accessible from this little global section here. So that way, if I make a change on the homepage, it'll adjust everywhere else. I've used that kind of global section, which is super dope. Or alternatively, I can save a section or an entire page as a template, and then all my templates can be accessed from the little folder icon, and then my templates, when it wants to load for me, I can easily insert those in. Again, saving some time so I don't have to continually do this over and over and over and over. But this was Get in Touch. Using a lot of placeholder content for now until I get just more information from the client. Just trying to make the initial design that was created inside of Figma to just become a reality and then adjust from there. I love this one site. It's Project Huddle. It's a plugin software, whatever you want to call it. But basically, it allows you to, basically allows your clients to click on the website itself, add a comment directly on the site that only you and they can see, and get that instant feedback. So you don't have to really adjust with the like creating a Google Doc or Word doc or emails back and forth for content updates. It's literally saved me countless hours. Not sponsored, not an ad or anything. It's just I use it with every single one of my builds, and it's helped me out tremendously. All right, so we want a heading here for reach out. I forgot what font I'm using. Oh wait, I remember. Enter. Cool. Now new form. Again, going over my website style guide, saving myself a ton of time. I'm going to need to adjust that spacing. Elementor doesn't make it super easy to adjust the spacing between the actual form header, form label, and the actual form. But actually thinking about this a little bit more, might be able to just mess with line height. Haha, yes, I'll just mess with line height. Do you need a subject field? Guess it'll update when it wants to. There we go. We don't need so much padding on this one. Let's say 60. No, I lied, 80. So another trick I learned as I was just on my web design journey is, so for the longest time trying to get, say, this to only be a certain width, I would just mess with the padding like crazy. So I would have this set up to like 20, 20, and I would just kind of keep adjusting until I figured out a decent amount. But then it just kind of messed up on different browser types or phones or things like that. I found that there was an easier way to adjust the text itself. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you adjust the column and horizontal align, choose center, and then go back over to that text icon or that the text itself. Go over to advanced and then let's see, positioning. So for the width, you'll just choose custom, and then you can just adjust the width as you see fit. So now I'm not messing with the padding. I just set the exact width or percentage for the content itself. So let's do that. I'm going to add some icons here. Just got to export them from Figma right quick. SVG. Now just upload them. So I want to make sure this is stacked. It's going to be square. I'm going to round it off just to keep it on brand. So this one is easy and robust. That's fine. Perfect. Now it's looking good. Oh, whoops. Didn't want that to happen. So I wanted it kind of light and fluffy. You can also edit directly on Elementor itself if that tickles your fancy. I usually just use a side little menu. It's a little bit more responsive. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Obviously, these are just placeholders. I need this actual content from the client. I want to make sure that this has a pretty big gap. Cool. Add some space. I dig it. All right, and now we need a frequently asked questions area. And instead of having to do just a line break here after asked, I could just adjust the column width again. That also helps if let's say the width of the mobile screen is kind of off or it's just really, really small. It won't make it frequently line break asked, line break questions, and it just won't look good. It'll make sure to it adjusts accordingly. Again, just going to adjust this. That is one thing. It makes it inline too when you do this. So if you do need them to go on separate lines, just add a spacer here. I needed space there anyway, so it kind of worked out in my favor. All right, so now I need toggles. Or actually accordion. Well, maybe. Let's figure these out. I honestly don't know what the difference is. Oh, all right. So accordion will only have one open at a time. Toggle, you can do whatever you want. See, you learn something new every day. All right, I needed to make it look like that. Oh, I can upload my own. Sick. I just realized I got rid of chat on my thing. Cool. That should fix that. Let me just test this really quick. There we go. All right, chat's back. Messed it up the first time. You live and you learn. I actually just want one. No, I'll do two. Let's space them. I like how it doesn't let me do border radius, but I'll adjust that later. All right. I'm gonna have to adjust that with CSS a bit, but I figured I was gonna need to anyways, so it is okay. Q-toggle is the class I'll name it. Typically, I use a child theme, but as I'm developing this site, I'm just going to use this sidebar inside of Customize for the CSS, just so I can see the changes live as I'm doing them. And then once I'm all done, I'll create a separate child theme just for this client and throw all this CSS there, just so it loads a little bit nicer and easier. All right, let's figure out what the hell this is. Nope. That was not it either. There we go. So this is the one. So I typically use CSS quite a bit when I'm building out a site, just kind of to adjust and tweak where Elementor and some of the add-ons kind of failed to do so. Like here, I couldn't adjust the border radius of the toggle itself. So I had to go in and find the element using inspect and then just adjusting it here. And I think my browser froze. All right, no, we're good. We're good. False alarm. All right, so border. That's weird. That's suspicious. Oh, I don't like that. Oof, I need to update this. So I'm going to need to adjust this one while it's active. So 10 pixels, 10 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Whoops. There we go. There we go. And then when you're dealing with CSS, the short way is to just do an all-in-one line. You can do border radius, like left, right, whatever. But it goes top, which is basically top left, top right, bottom left. When it comes to border itself, otherwise it's top right, bottom left. I need to give this whole thing a border radius because it's messing with the shadow. I don't know what element to do so with. Really looking for the one with the shadow. All right, that wasn't it. It was a toggle item. All right, so I'll do this then. Get rid of it there, but I'm going to add it to the toggle item itself. It's not going to go here. I'm just kind of saving it to make it quicker for me to grab later. All right. Do. All right. That's one thing with this customized. Sometimes thinks the toggles are buttons. So it does that. All right, well, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Now it's looking all pretty. I just need to mess with. No, I don't want that. All right, now I got to do a border on this one. So again, we don't need it at the top, so 0 pixels. We don't need the top right, so 0 pixels, but we do need the bottom right, 10, 10. Boom. There we go. I think that box shadow is a little bit too much. There we go. Nice and subtle. All right, so I need to do this. Oops. Honestly, I think I can actually just make this. Oh wait, I am dumb. I think I can just do this from here. Content, background, this, color, this. That only shows when you expand it. So I do not have to worry about that. Just disregard this item here. Same thing with this, but I do need this active tab. There we go. Rightio, looks good. Those will be green when I'm done. That's the last section, yeah? Yeah. Just duplicate this. Adjust how it's gonna look. Again, I wish I could just do one and done for all this thing. I think this takes the longest. And what's worse is if a client doesn't like the animation, they want it to be still, you have to go in and adjust all of these. If you know an easier way, please let me know, because it would save me a ton of time. Let's do this one flying right. But I cannot forget the tablet mode or the mobile mode to make sure those look good. But again, even though I'm testing it inside of this browser, the different responsiveness, I still want to test it on a phone because you never know. I'm going to adjust this to be 80. That looks great. Again, 80. Oops. And I mean, this can go either way, whether you want it to be a full screen section or full width, 100%, and then have it separate. For tablet, I'm just going to keep it like there for now, see what the client wants before I make any assumptions. I'll say I make this a 3. All looks good. I need to make this left align. Yeah, I do want this. Boom, beautiful. And that is our contact us page. So we go back over here and look at it. I know my browser is going to struggle while I'm streaming to get that full effect. This is what it will look like. I want more padding there. Look a little squished. Just go 25. Dope. Do you want to mess with my menu? I think I only have one more page for this build and I'm done. Really is going to be done today. Sick. Still got to figure out that random background that's being added. I don't know where I put it. Should I do it here? Nope. All right, I'm just going to do that for now until I figure out where it's coming from. I'm going to need to add those other ones though. I was going to fix it on this one. What page did I just do? Oh yeah, about. No, that's still there too. I remember I did it to one of the pages because I was kind of being lazy, but I thought it would only impact that one page. And now I'm a little upset. Pretty sure I did it to maybe the blog post. It was there. Sneaky devil. All right, so I need to edit the about page again, because that's not going to have any of the little squiggly do lines. There we go. That looks much better. Don't know why it does that sometimes, but oh well. Wait, nope, just background. There we go. Adjust this page again before I create the last COVID page and call this site. Sort of done, at least done for the first initial rendition. And then I just need the actual client's content. Let's see. So all of those random like image dimensions that you see on the screen, that's from FakerPress. So FakerPress is dope if you want to easily get a bunch of like just dummy content, whether it's posts, images, even pages, really, just whatever you're really needing to do. That way, if you are building out a site like this where there isn't blog content, but I need to make sure I know exactly how the blog looks, this does it for me. And you can easily delete and wipe everything that it generated with a quick let it go. And all this stuff goes away for when the client is ready to take the site over. You don't have to go in and manually delete everything. Again, saving some time there. I want this to contain. That's fine. Oof. I wanted to make like a cool little effect here, but I think it's going to be a lot more difficult than I want it to be. Yeah. I'm just going to adjust it with one that doesn't have like a clipped edge. So even if it ends up being a little off, it's not going to be the end of the world. This, crap, that's an edge. Guess they're all edges. Well, that stinks. I probably don't want to show this on anything. So if you're wanting to adjust and make an element only show on desktop or only show on mobile or what have you, you can easily do that just by selecting the element, going over to advanced, heading down to responsive, and then hiding it where you want to hide it. I want to hide it only on tablet and mobile. I don't only want this to show up on desktop since I'm messing around with absolute positioning. So I set that up that way. All right, now let's go ahead and finish this last page. Let's do the COVID page. So it's super important to talk about just what you're doing during this pandemic to keep people safe, informed, and all that good stuff. I can type. I don't need that open, but I do want to grab my header section here. Actually, I don't want to do double column. And you'll see why in a second. So I want these sections to be nice and organized and pretty and on the same horizontal pattern. Cool. All right, this next section is going to be a little weird. Before I mess with the weirdness, let me just do this side. Vertically align this just to make it look pretty. All right, but here's where the weirdness comes in, is they want it a little image to kind of be accented almost. No repeat, contain. They want it to almost be like that. I got to play around with this a little bit just to make sure it looks good. Oh, what page did I just do with FAQ? That was a get in touch. Command E, get in touch. Because I need basically that same question, that toggle FAQ section. And again, just going to copy and paste it. Got a little click happy, but that's all right. Cool. That works for that. Want some more space here though. Left, let's go 50. That looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's adjust how this is going to animate. You probably guessed it. This is going to fade in left. I'll just make this whole section fading up. So there's a lot going on with this fade in left right here. And these should already have something. Yes, they do. Let's see how they look on tablet. Looks good. A lot of space there, so let's adjust it. Actually, I kind of like it. Last there. All right, and now mobile. I'm actually going to get rid of this on mobile. And I think we are done. I'll just mess with the menu a bit. Appearance, then menus. Oof, I gotta mess the menu. That didn't turn out so pretty. There we go. I didn't even mess with this menu because it has a bit of a gap right there, which happens a lot. You just go to drop down and then distance. Cool. I think we're done. So let's check out this home page. Oh, that's probably gonna look bad on tablet though. Not that many options. And I need to add more of those photo credits to the bottom. But that is for another day, another stream. I've been going for an hour and 36 minutes. Created a couple of pages. I got the get in touch, the about Brian, and COVID-19 page done. Figured out that random background issue that was going on. Adjusted some CSS for that toggle button. I think it's a good session. I think it's time to kind of get up, take a break, probably go and try to get some good nuggets from these videos and edit them accordingly and produce them out to the different channels. But yeah, appreciate you guys jumping in from here and there, watching me as I just work and design some sites. This is a lot of fun. I'll be streaming a lot more, doing these types of things a lot in the future. So if you are an up and coming web designer or interested in learning how to design your own site for your small business or just bored, I'd welcome you to the channel, follow along, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I'll see y'all next stream. Neely out.